Hello, I'm going to read chapter 5 of Emily Sparks and the Friendship Fiasco now. And this is where we meet Chloe Clark, who's going to become quite a big character in Emily's life. Chapter 5, Who's That Girl? Wednesday morning. Hello, Year 6, Mr. Meakin says. Everyone is quiet. Mr. Meakin never interrupts our lessons. It is either a major telling off or a tragic announcement. He likes to do those things himself. I'm sure, he continues, that Mrs. Lovetofts has explained that we have a new starter today. Well, I hadn't actually quite got around to that yet, Mrs. Lovetofts says, smiling. Mr. Meakin does not look pleased. But then Mr. Meakin never looks pleased. Unlike Mrs. Lovetofts, he has learned the proper facial expressions to get on in teaching. This is Chloe Clark, everyone, Mrs. Lovetofts says as Mr. Meakin goes out to do some miserable but important stuff in his office. Chloe Clark looks at everyone with a big smile and says, Hi! I'm surprised because most people don't really say anything much when they're new. She has very white teeth and long blonde hair in a plait. Her skirt is quite short and she has black tights with silver stars at the sides and shoes which are not the same as everyone else's. Joshua Radcliffe is sort of staring at her like he's seen an angel. Mrs. Lovetofts says, I'm sure you will make her feel very welcome. Chloe, why don't you go and sit next to Emily? But that's Bella's seat, miss, I say. Mrs. Lovetofts gives me a little smile and I hear somebody giggle. Bet it was Susanna. What if Bella comes back? Wavy Cat is supposed to bring me luck. I don't know why Mrs. Lovetofts picked on me anyway. Susanna has an empty seat next to her for much longer than me. She should be first in line when it comes to sorting out new people. Mrs. Lovetofts never thinks things through properly. I have enough to get used to at the moment with nameless babies and pointless parents, and last night I couldn't even speak to Bella because the computer was broken. I am much too stressed to deal with smiley girls. But it's too late now. Chloe swishes into the seat next to me and says, Hi, Emily. Nice to meet you. In a sort of Americanish, but it might just be that she watches too much TV accent. I say, hi, in a way which I hope sounds like, leave me alone. Then she says, oh, what a cute cat, and reaches out to touch Wavy Cat's paw. I quickly grab him away and put him on my table. Luckily, Mrs. Lovetofts has just decided to do a Tudor music lesson, so I don't have to say any more to Chloe for a while, and even if I did, she wouldn't be able to hear me above Mrs. Lovetofts singing Greensleeves. It's making it very difficult for me to concentrate on how to get out of showing Chloe around the school. I absolutely do not want to spend first break wandering about the school saying, here is the teacher's toilet. This is a fire extinguisher. By the time the bell goes for break, I have decided to say, sorry, I can't show you around. I've got loads of pencils that need urgent sharpening. Which I know is not the greatest excuse I've ever come up with, but I am under pressure. But when I turn around, I find Chloe's already walking around the class going, Hi, what's your name? Before long, everyone is chatting to her like she's been around for ages. The only person who is not hanging around her is Amy Lee Langer. This is because she's on breakdown detention outside Mr. Meakin's office over the dead dolphin incident. Joshua Radcliffe said, Welcome to the crazy class, Chloe. But he's just trying to make us sound more interesting because it's quite an ordinary class, really. Yeah, Yasmin says. Nicole says, Hi, Chloe. Welcome to Juniper Road Primary. She flashes her a big smile and then says in a showy-offy voice, Parlez-vous français? And Chloe says, Oui, bien sûr. Oh, you are clever, Susanna says. Chloe nods. I used to go to Magnolia Hall at Mag Hall. We learned French from reception. Nicole's eyebrows spring up under her fringe. She looks at Babette in a very worried way. They have never had competition in the French area before. Susanna says, Is Magnolia Hall a private school then? Chloe says, Yes. Gross Out says, Are you super rich then? Chloe says, Yes. Alfie Balfour says, Rich, rich, Chloe is rich, and does a stupid gorilla dance. Grossout says, "Then why don't you go to Magnolia Hall now? Have you lost all your money?" And he and Alfie start sniggering. Chloe opens her mouth to say something, but Susanna leaps into the conversation, not into Chloe's mouth, and says, "Just go away, Gavin. Chloe doesn't want to speak to you." Then she says, "I so love your tights. My mum will only let me wear white socks." "Parents," Chloe says, "tell me about them, like they are totally on another planet to their kids." Susanna says, "Totally botally," and goes all giggly. Then Chloe goes all giggly too, and they put their heads together and go all giggly together. And I am thinking, I am so glad I decided to stay out of this and completely not be friends with Chloe Clark, because it's all just too childish. And even though Susanna is my sworn enemy, I'm surprised she's joining in, because she's usually a bit more sensible. Then Susanna says, "By the way, Chloe, have you heard about the Tudor times time travel trip next week?" And I suddenly realise what is going on. Susanna is trying to make friends with Chloe, and I know why. Because if she is friends with Chloe, then she will have a partner for the school trip, and I won't. And I will be the one to end up with Grossout. Well, Susanna Kowalski, you are not getting away with that. Totally, not. I grab Chloe's arm and say, "Well, that's enough chit-chat. Time to totally show Chloe the school council notice board." And I steer her out of the door before Susanna has even had a chance to finish the giggle she has just started. I just about managed to keep Chloe distracted till it's time for class again by showing her the highlights of the reception area, like the "We raised £41.34 for polar bear" certificate and the photo of the 2007 school football team getting cut from someone who once played for Bolton Wanderers. But it's not easy. She does seem to get bored very quickly. We get back into class just as the bell goes, and I waste a few more minutes showing her the bit of door frame where Mrs. Lovetoft sticks all the spare blue tack. And then we have to go and sit back down. Susanna is sitting in her chair across the class, trying to smile at Chloe and give me the super evils at the same time, which makes her face scrunch up and look very strange. By lunchtime, I've completed a list to keep Chloe busy and out of Susanna's way. Also, it is more interesting than learning about Cardinal Wolsey. Things to show a new person. Girls' toilets. Don't go in cubicle 3, it's haunted. Coat hooks. She won't have one yet, Mrs. Lovetoft always forgets, but she can use Mina Begum's, not Bella's, in case she comes back. Water fountain. Never drink out of it. Gross boys put their mouths over it. Trolley for putting packed lunches on, right next to the heater, so don't bring yogurts. That should keep her away from Susanna for a bit. I'll have to make up the rest as I go along. I only have to stop Chloe being friends with Susanna for 1 week till the school trip. How hard can that be? That's the end. Yeah, I think that might prove a bit harder than Emily thinks. So, she has to show around school. She made a list of things that she would show Chloe around school. What would you put on a list to show a new person at your school? If you had to show someone around who'd never been there before, what are the important things to show them? And what are the things that maybe are a bit more unusual, that are not just the things that the teachers would expect you to show them, but something that perhaps there are places in the playground that you go, or maybe there are just special places that you know that you would like to show someone. Why not make a list? Why not try it out and see if you could come up with something? What if an alien came to your school? What would you have to explain to them? What would you have to tell them about that maybe they wouldn't understand? Strange things that we have in schools, like dinner queues and spelling tests and things. They wouldn't understand that at all, would they? Anyway, I'm going to leave you with that idea, and I'll read another story tomorrow. Goodbye.